Hello everyone, this is Dan again with another MGTOW video. I wanted to basically give my opinion on some of the infighting or some of the general issues, general divisions within MGTOW as far as content creators go. This video is probably going to be pretty controversial, and I might get some dislikes or some heat for it, or maybe not, I don't know. But I wanted to give my opinion on everything that I've been seeing anyway, from my kind of very small channel's perspective. I feel like, it's natural to have a lot of different opinions within MGTOW because the men who come into the community, the men who are able to figure out that a lot of what we're taught in society is screwed up, those kinds of men often are the ones that are going to have an independent opinion. They're going to believe the way they believe, regardless of what everyone else tells them, because without that kind of personality trait, without the ability to, in some ways think critically, but at the very least, to make a decision for themselves on the reality of things around them, they wouldn't be MGTOW to begin with without the ability to look at things from that kind of individual perspective. So naturally, men who come into MGTOW are going to have different opinions that are strongly held about all kinds of different issues. So I think we're always going to see a certain level of infighting, a certain level of MGTOW content creators who, in some cases, may respectfully disagree on something, but in other cases, may really just not like one another based on their values, based on the differences of opinion they share, even if they accept a core belief about men's position in society today or the differences between male and female nature. A lot of men who reach these conclusions, not even just within MGTOW, but within the manosphere in general. You have MRAs and PUAs, and I know that's a little bit of a different kind of thing, but you have men who reach different conclusions based on some level of understanding the feminist hypocrisy and understanding gynocentrism and all these kinds of things that are so embedded in how the average person is raised that it really takes someone with critical thinking skills, with an independent thought process, to be able to see through that kind of, I guess, veil of lies to basically get to a conclusion that things are not as we are taught that they are. And so there's naturally going to be a lot of different men from different backgrounds and different perspectives who all consider themselves MGTOW. That being said, part of being MGTOW, along with all of this, is understanding our own nature, understanding not just female nature, but male nature as well, understanding human nature, understanding just how men and women interact with each other, the differences that we see in different demographical groups. There's no reason to get into this too far, but basically, men, MGTOW guys, have a core understanding that men and women are not the same, that no two individual men are going to be the same, and that we have certain natural tendencies as men to do things that can be either positive or destructive depending on the circumstances. Now, with the red pill coin itself, I'm going to step back and describe my perspective on the events that have taken place. There is no reason why someone can't have a slightly different perspective, but to me, this is essentially what's been going on. Angry MGTOW and Chris Cantu decided to market a new cryptocurrency, the red pill coin, and to have an initial coin offering on the basis of men investing in the coin, giving them money to basically get red pill coins in return. Now, this coin has never been tied to anything profitable. The business venture aspect of this is non existent. So there is no rationale for really thinking that the red pill coin can make any sort of profit for people over time on the basis of actually investing into something that is going to be successful, is going to see profit. So the only way the red pill coin can gain value is if more men invest in it and there's more demand than supply, and the price of the coin goes up for that reason. So Marcus, from the groundwork of the metaphysics of MGTOW, he did a video explaining why he thinks that's a scam, and I think he made a very fair video, even though, of course, it reached the conclusion that's based on his opinion, that's based on his assessment. He basically says that if you look at the white paper, if you look at the basically the mission for the red pill coin, it is not tied to any sort of business venture. It's not tied to anything that can actually make money over time. And therefore, if you're actually trying to make a good investment purely based on the idea of making money off of this, from that perspective, the red pill coin is probably a scam, because there's no reason to expect that it's going to earn anything over time unless more men invest in it. So I think that was a very fair assessment. But of course, the other side of this is, what if men want to invest in this anyway? What if they believe that the supply and the demand of the coin itself could be enough to have some short-term gains? Or what if they just think that it's a good idea to have a coin that's a cryptocurrency that MGTOW men or other men in the manosphere can use if they don't trust other currencies, other systems? Now, I don't necessarily think that that is the most logical choice. I don't necessarily agree that it's a good investment if it's not tied to anything profitable, but you could make the case for, hey, individual men can decide what they want to invest in, and if they think that more people will buy the red pill coin, and if they think that it can be used within the MGTOW community, why should anyone stop them from doing so? Why should anyone tell them that they're wrong, or that they can't make up their own mind on these kinds of things? So in a direct sense, men who have criticized the red pill coin haven't said, well, no men should invest in this and I'm making this decision for you, but that's the implication. And the bottom line is the coin itself has been assessed and has been described fully at this point. I, in just a few minutes, described, not necessarily in great detail, there might have been information that I left out, but I pretty much just described the whole issue with the red pill coin in a few minutes. But yet, we see these MGTOW content creators making video after video after video, either on one side about how it's a scam, or on the other side about how this is a personal attack on angry MGTOW and others who have created or in some way supported the red pill coin and the coin offering. So my take on this is, if we can see that all the information is there, we know that, especially with Marcus's first video, or he made a couple of videos pertaining to why he thinks it's a scam, and especially with looking at the white paper and seeing that, it's not tied to anything that might be profitable, but, it's up to men to decide if they want to invest in it anyway, if they think that demand will lead to a greater value for the red pill coin over time. But even though the basic information and knowledge about the red pill coin has been discussed thoroughly, we still see men on both sides of the issue making videos about one another, primarily trying to tear one another down. There's been an accusation that one of the guys, TFM, is a pedophile. There's been an accusation that another guy is just basically a mole and is there to spy on MGTOW as a community. There's been guys who have been told that they're trying to cheat everyone else out of all their money, that they're deceiving people, even though the information is out there now, and it's up, like I say, it's up to individual men to decide, just like with everything else, whether they want to commit any resources toward the red pill coin. So the only logical conclusion to reach, as far as I'm concerned, when most of the information about the coin is out there, but men are still trying to make videos about how the other side is wrong, the only conclusion to reach, I think, is that we've gone from a phase where we're trying to inform other men to make a good decision, to into a phase where basically it's just about ego and it's just about personal attacks. And the sad thing is that, we understand our own nature to a large extent. The manosphere, MGTOW in particular, is all about basically coming to accept the good and the bad about male nature. It's coming to accept the things like the white knighting instinct. It's about accepting that men are just naturally trying to please women, and men will compete with each other and throw each other under the bus for the benefit of a woman. I noticed that, and I'm not going to say who this is because I'm really trying hard not to take sides on the red pill coin issue. But there was one of the videos that I watched that basically involved a woman giving one of the guys involved in this infighting information about a guy who is on the other side of the issue, about a guy who he's trying to bring down, basically, and posting information about that other guy. So it's clear to me, at least, that in that case, we're allowing women to help us in our battles within MGTOW. And I think that's a really sad point to reach, to be honest. I'm not saying women can never have intelligent discussions within the manosphere at all, but when MGTOW are attacking one another, and evidently some of us are willing to use women or particular women to advance our cause and advance our arguments, I think that's really sad. I think it really undercuts what MGTOW is supposed to be about to begin with, which is realizing what our nature is and trying to help other men instead of tearing them down. Not wanting to be part of what we see a lot of men who are what we call blue pill, not wanting to be a part of what they do anymore, and having some sort of discipline or having some sort of value system that goes beyond just attacking other men for the sake of looking better. And I think that as this issue continues, if men on either side, and again, I'm trying not to take sides either way on this issue, but if any MGTOW content producer decides that he's not going to let it go, that he has to continue to attack either the creators of the red pill coin or those who are saying that the red pill coin is a scam, I think that it's going to put him in a very negative position within MGTOW. Because again, a lot of us are aware of male and female nature. A lot of us are aware of how men can act under certain circumstances and what motivates us. And if any individual MGTOW who is one of the more popular creators, or even someone who has a less popular channel for that matter, if he is not willing to let it go and he wants to continue to, even after all the information is put out there, like I'm arguing it has been, there's 90% of the information about the red pill coin was made or was disseminated within the second or third video. Either you think that it's a good investment or you think it's a scam. Either you want to invest in it or you don't, as an individual man. And yet we continue to see this bickering and this desire to bring down the MGTOW content creators on the other side of the issue. And if anyone continues to do this, they're going to have their reputation within the community compromised. People are going to see, oh, okay, this guy's not really interested in making good MGTOW content at this point, even if he's made good MGTOW content in the past. And let me say, I'm subscribed to MGTOW 101. I'm subscribed to TFM. I watch DDJ's videos. I'm subscribed to him as well. So I guess I like some of the creators on both sides, and then there are creators that I don't necessarily watch as much of. But if any of these guys continue down this path that I feel like the whole issue of the red pill coin is moving toward, if they continue to just want to bring each other down, to say that they're pedophiles, to say that they're doxing the community, to say that they're scamming the community, to say that, to just start going off on a series of ad hominem personal attacks to try to bring down the other man and to try to build favor within the MGTOW community on their side, the men who continue to try to do this, if if any of these guys continue down this path, or anyone else for that matter, it's going to blow up in your face. If they continue to try to get MGTOW men to say that the other side has no point, or that it has to be a scam, or it has to not be a scam, your reputation is going to be tarnished. You are going to be seen as a man who cares more about his ego and more about getting to the top of the dominance hierarchy that we should all be aware of. We all know that men, if they feel like, someone is their rival or someone is basically their enemy, that we know that men have a tendency to want to bring those men down. And again, I feel like this is what the red pill coin issue has turned into. So my overall conclusion is this: if we see these same MGTOW men, not just the ones who are involved in the current controversy, but in potential controversies and issues that, again, I know that we'll have, because MGTOW men are going to have very different opinions at times. If we see these same guys being kind of repeat offenders, in the sense of not wanting to let anything go and making so much of what they do about drama and attacking men who disagree with them, instead of saying, I feel strongly about this, I don't like this other MGTOW content creator, and I'm going to give my opinion and then I'm going to move on. If we see the same guys that are involved in the red pill coin controversy now, and something else that happens maybe a few months down the line, and then something after that, if these guys continue to, like I say, basically instigate drama and not let something go after it's been discussed and after it's been thoroughly analyzed and presented to the MGTOW community as a whole to decide upon, you're going to be, even though you may have a lot of views, and even though you may win the war, so to speak, you're going to be seen as being disreputable within MGTOW. You're going to be seen as someone who cares more about himself and protecting his own ego and having to be right all the time than you care about actually making good content. And again, I'm not saying that any of these guys have crossed the line quite into that level so far. I'm not saying that I'm the one who gets to decide when a particular content creator has crossed that line. Like I say, I'm still subscribed to all the guys that I was subscribed to before, to all the channels that I've been watching before. But the men within MGTOW, the men who watch these videos, will decide for themselves. They will look at one particular creator and say, you know what, this guy's always beefing with somebody else. This guy's always being a dick. He's always personally attacking someone else in the community. I'm not going to watch his shit anymore, except maybe to laugh at this guy. That's my take on how things will develop, because again, MGTOW men in general are not stupid. MGTOW men can see when someone cares more about certain things that are an aspect of our nature, sometimes a negative aspect of our nature, than he does about caring for other men, wanting to help other men. Men within MGTOW can see when your motivations are more to do harm than good. And I think that if we continue down this road, not just with the red pill coin, because there have been issues before within MGTOW, and there'll be issues in the future that cause infighting between different MGTOW within the so-called community, within the manosphere. If this continues, for the MGTOW who can't let these kinds of things go and have to continue to attack people who he sees as rivals or who he doesn't like because of things that they've done or said, if a particular content creator does this repeatedly, it's going to be self-defeating, and the issue is going to be self-resolving, because MGTOW are simply going to gravitate away from those kinds of creators. Again, and I think in the short run, if there's drama like this, that may gain views and it may gain some sort of support. But even if you win the so-called battle and declare yourself right on a particular issue, you want to declare the red pill coin to be a scam or not a scam or whatever, even if your view is the more accepted view, if you continue to attack other people, if you continue to make things personal when they don't have to be after a certain point, then you're going to screw up your own reputation. you're going to be seen as someone within the MGTOW community who can't be trusted as any sort of loyal supporter. And you're going to be someone who's seen as basically just another guy who likes to throw other men under the bus when MGTOW is not really about that. MGTOW is about finding your own path, letting other men do what they need to do, and making good decisions for your own life. And if you can help other men make decisions for themselves that are good, that's great. But tearing other men down, making things personal, and making it about your ego, in the long run, if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you, and neither is anybody else. But ultimately, if you continue to attack other men and you continue to attack other content creators, no matter what side you're actually on, other men are going to lose respect for you. Other men are going to see you as someone who can't really be trusted and whose advice is going to come from a position of ego rather than from the standpoint of wanting to help other men. And eventually, you're going to lose support with other MGTOW. So, in that sense, I think that creating divisions and going after other men, it's going to be a self-resolving issue, because the guys who do this, the content creators who do this, it's going to blow up in their face sooner or later if they continue to act this way. And again, I'm not saying who is or who isn't crossing this line, but the MGTOW community as a whole will decide. And the guys who basically are creating a lot of the drama over time, they're going to be the ones who lose support. They're going to be the ones who lose trust. And they're going to be the ones who are seen as not really caring about the interests of men, but really caring more about their own ego and who they can bring down and who they want to fight with, more than they do about actually making content that men can use and that men can find trustworthy.